Hello everyone and welcome back to another Black Desert video. So today we are doing our June 2025 window shopping episode. So if you've never seen it, basically every month I look at the central market on the NA server and talk about what I think is notable and talking about items that I think are worth buying, selling, enhancing for profit, those kind of things. And overall just like trends of items going up and down compared to last month, to see what is important and also talk about things that are newly added, recent, and I think are worth looking at. So with that said, as we all know, it's June. The Heidel ball is coming up at the end of this month, and I think for most players in the mid to end game, all of us are just saving up silver, hoping that something is going to come up. They're going to talk about something interesting at the ball, and then we'll use our silver on that. But ultimately, that's where we're at in the game, and yeah, we just have like a couple more weeks until that happens, so most of us are just kind of saving up, myself included, because that's where we're at. So anyway, the usual stuff we're going to be looking at: weapons, armors. We'll talk about that pretty quickly, and then I'll talk about some notable items that I saw trends of going upwards. And you know that stonks meme, yeah, that one. Okay, so let's talk about Blackstars as usual, because this is always going to be a hot topic for both newer players and people going into Sovereign. All right, so main hands have always been one of the worst ones in terms of value. Like in terms of usefulness, they're great. In terms of silver value, the main hand is probably the lowest ones of all of them. Yep. As expected, in the past month it was higher. Well, I honestly, like, at the maximum they were like probably a max of 9 bill. Nowadays you can probably get it if you put an order at minimum price for any Blackstar, guarantee you can get it within 24 hours, at least here on NA, just because there's a lot of people enhancing and there's a lot of people just trying to sell it. So chances are, no matter what class you play, put one on minimum price, guarantee you'll get it in under 24. So they've been going down. More people are getting sovereign weapons these days, and you know, ultimately this chart does not look that bad for the 3 month, because it's, you know, more or less higher than the others. But still, if you're trying to enhance, it's either offhands or awakening are the ways to go. Awakening, literally like 4 bill more for a tet, so it's kind of wild. And then pen, yeah, that's not looking too great actually, but it's still higher than main hand. So yeah, right now we'll talk about this one. Goddard, the purple ones, they're kind of like a new player bait nowadays. Back in the day, they were a stepping stone progression in terms of getting your pen Blackstar, but it's 2025 and they kind of just give these away for free these days. And so I try to tell people every month that Goddard is, you know, not worth your investment. Like, I understand it's a progression path to pen Blackstar, but the amount you'll use on average to enhance it is not worth it, to the point where you're better off just buying it or saving it. And quite honestly, I think even if you are raw tapping it straight up, like raw tapping Tets to pen, it's still probably cheaper or like on average than Goddard. So it's one of those kind of questionable things, and it's not even the amount of aggres you're using. It's more like the amount of stacks you're using and building up with the time cost and everything. So time and value. So yeah, Goddard's, yeah, it's not worth it. The hard truth is you're better off doing literally anything else. So let's see. Offhand pens are at its highest right now. Actually, it's not looking great here, but like this chart, it didn't really change that much. But either way, this is pretty good. If you can sell it for 80 billion and offhand, it's probably the way to go. And the reason why is if you look at gear, best in slot for offhand, like, you know, PvE, is still the, you know, Blackstar, because there is no sovereign for this one. So with that said, there's that. Let's look at Kudum, or not Kudums, and Nouvers. For all of you PvPers out there, I guess more people are, you know, doing PvP. This usually goes up when we have a new Arena of Solaire season, or, you know, PvP. People like to practice more than they would normally without any seasonal things going on. So I think that could be it. Or people are just getting more gear and they're just like, oh, I want to try to PvP now that I have like 300 AP or something. And, you know, there's that. So ultimately, hasn't gone up much, like since the past few months, probably like a couple 100 billion or million, roughly the same as usual. All right. Quickly going over armors. We're not going to talk about like how to get it and everything. Watch previous episodes. Labreska, they're all within 180 to like 210 billion these days. Running it through quickly. If you are self-enhancing, base to pry, 80 to 100 stack. Pry to duo, 100 to like 130. Duo to try, 140-ish to 170. And try to tet, I personally used 245 to 270 on all of them. And the reason why I would always say it's most likely better for people to self-enhance their tets is because, like, these are 200 billion. That's a lot of silver. It's more than Blackstars these days. So I actually think that most people can hit tet cheaper than what it costs to buy it, assuming you're using a normal stack, like within 240 to like 280. I think it's still significantly cheaper to self-enhance, and it's what I've done for all of my pieces. And yeah, there's that. All right, so notable things that I noticed are trending is a lot of life skill gear. Actually, people are getting into different life skills, and let's talk about Manos, because this is something I looked at the other day. We'll talk about the tools as well. So in trending, like, obviously the Cooks one is always going to be, you know, that one is going up according from the last month. And so, yeah, it's on an rise up. Imperial Delivery eventually will pay this off if you just bought a pen. And even not, like, I think just the Cook's Clothes, Gathering, and Fishing are probably the most important ones in my opinion. So let's look about this one. This one is actually really high. I do think for endgame players or endgame life skillers, a pen fishing clothes is worth the investment, just because of the amount of silver people make by fishing literally every day. And like, I think if you were to buy this, you could probably make the silver back in about 1 month of, you know, overnight fishing and everything else, making between 1 to 3 billion silver depending on RNG every day. This will pay itself off in a month, so definitely worth it. I would say Alchemy probably went up a little bit. Well, I guess not, but like, I ever since they added Imperial Alchemy, and just if they're adding more recipes and everything, this should be going up in my opinion. And Gathering is just always a consistently good life skill, to the point where I'm actually surprised it's not maxed. So I guess, like, obviously more mastery is better, but there are some people that can hit like very close to 3,000, if not 3,000, with just buffs alone these days. Here's actually, this is the one thing that we got a patch on recently, so I wanted to see what the price looked like. Supposedly it's going down, but with the change in training they added recently, the infinite rope, And basically this not, I don't think this should affect the economy at all, but I think that these should be going up within, at some point, just because trading is actually a notable one nowadays. Hunting, I feel like hunting is one of those specific ones. Like, if you buy one of these, it's good, but you really have to like hunting. It's an active life skill, kind of like gathering, but it is very profitable to the point where you will make a very quick return on investment. But it's one of those things where you have to, like, you got to get good at it. It's not, and you need a lot more mastery. So one of those high investments, but high returns if you know what you're doing. All right, so notable crafted clothes. Actually, it's not this one. Non-Manos. The blue ones are not worth it. Wait, where is it? Silver embroidered clothes. I still think low-key the trader's clothes are actually worth it. Simply because it does give plus 400 weight and trading XP. So for all of you who are, you've had your royal workshops going for, I don't know, a while now. I just actually did a turn in the other day and then made actually a decent amount. So for all this, you do your turn ins and then you could profit. So if you get the plus 40% trading, it's always good. Ooh, these are, I'll fix that later. We'll talk about that another time. So yeah, a lot of that is important. Accessories are basically your Deborekas going into Kharazad. So I would say all the tets are between like 25 to 35 billion silver, depending on which one. And a lot of questions I get on the regular are, is it worth buying a tet or pen Debo and converting it to Kharazad? And the answer at the current time is yes. It's generally cheaper. You skip the entire RNG process, assuming you're buying it at pen and not tet, but like even at tet it still saves you a little bit. And so yeah, at the current prices of like 30 billion, it's in fact worth it to just get all your Kharazad at like, Nav, if you can save up to extra 200 billion silver. And so yeah, that's something you should think about. Other things that people still use are distortions. Why are distos still 70? And their answer is because Essence of Dawn is, still at max price. And this is actually one thing I wanted to talk about. Essence of Dawn. Here on the NA server, you can actually buy them now. That's good. I guess it's just a time thing. We all knew it was going to happen at some point. And they're still max price, but people still need them. So you can actually buy them now with the new addition to Golden Pig King 8, 9, 10. And then the way you can get them if you're an endgame player, just start doing these 8, 9, 10. You can do like 9 and 10 on all of them. Cool, that's more. But ultimately, if you can one-shot it without, dying and having to repop harmonies every attempt, it's more profit, obviously. So just do whatever is safer for you and just keep that in mind. Yeah, give me a 6 or 7. Okay, nice. All right. Yeah, that's about all I wanted to talk about for that one. It's Preonne has been, actually available now. That's kind of surprising. So over time, more Preonne is just going to start sitting. People are going to start tapping him and then selling it. So if you're a life skiller, you can actually buy these now. It's very good. And once again, the conversion from Manos to Preonne is if you have a Tet Manos, that converts into a Tri. And if you have a Pen Manos, that converts into an Oct. And if you have a Tri Manos, that converts into a base. So prices reflect it up until I would say Oct and above are valued a lot higher because, you know, just making a pen Manos is not exactly the easiest thing to do. So yeah, I think anything under Oct is valued pretty accurately. And then if you can get like a deck or something, I truly believe deck is probably worth like triple the whatever cost it is. So like up to 1 trillion silver. I would say it's, you know, on the level of like a pen Fallen God, maybe a little bit under that, but well, actually, yeah, it's under pen Fallen God, but it's still very hard to get. I would say about 1 trillion. So yeah, there's that. Other notable things I wanted to talk about are Manos. Not the armor, we just talked about that, but the tools in general. So, fluid collecting is one that I do a lot. The price has gone way up, and so chances are if you're going to get it, they're going to be at maximum. Yeah, this is one thing I just kind of looked at the other day, and I'm like, that's interesting. It's a lot of silver now. It's like, I think when I bought mine at Pen, it was probably like 16, 17 billion, and now they're up just because gathering and across the board is, you know, people are figuring things out with gathering. So a lot of tools these days, like, yeah, this is probably an accurate thing of what I bought mine at. I would say in terms of life tools, so like the things that I have, butchering and fluid collecting are probably the most profitable ones. If you're doing hoe and pickaxe or mining, those are something you do if you know you're going to use the materials for yourself versus, you know, sometimes people just do this and sell the raw materials to the market. Just a quick overview. If you're going for strictly silver, butchering and fluid collecting, highest priority. If you're going for XP, the hoe is probably the most XP, just herb gathering. And if you're doing stuff because you're using it to self-craft whatever you're going for, pickaxe or a lot of cooking and alchemy tools, and of course a few other things. But, you know, lumbering axe and pickaxe are self-craft materials, and then tanning knife is actually one thing I wanted to talk about. Tanning knife, for all of you who are hunting and gathering, they added these to the game. I wanted to talk about this. So these are basically, you know, the house furnitures where you hit the buff. These are basically portable ones where you carry them in your inventory and whatnot. Are they worth it? No. They're worth it, but not at this price. Eventually, they are going to sit at minimum price. The longer time goes on, people are just going to buy them for cheaper. If you are going for, you know, if you want to get the same effect, but not want to spend all of this, literally, convenience is going to cost you more to carry them versus just putting this in your house. And then some of these are actually better. So, yeah, these are 2 hours and then cost less. And then, like, the overall buff that they give, for example, this is plus 15 AP for 3 hours, 300 mil, right? So 10 charges for 3 hours, essentially 30 hours worth of it. This thing, 15 AP, 1 hour. So, like, if you were to buy, you know, roughly 10 of them, you're getting 10 hours for the same price. The other one, you're getting 30 hours for the same price. See what I mean? How these are not worth the price. These are very strictly convenience items. And I think that if they go down in price to like minimum of, I think, 15 million, I think that's what the patch note said, then they're, you know, more worth it. In terms of which one you should use, really just AP. There mostly is no reason to be buying the other ones. Like, if you're PvEing, obviously AP, clear faster, more trash loot, make the silver back. If you're PvPing, the meta right now is strictly AP. So, like, there are very specific cases for evasion, But aside from that, at endgame PvP, 100 HP is not saving you from anything. Trust me when I say that. Like, yeah, people who know how to play their class, 1 CC is worth more than 100 HP. So either way, basically AP is the one you should get for everything, and that's the new thing I wanted to talk about. Djinn crystals are actually something that, you know, you're gonna see more on the market nowadays. So if you're looking to buy them, you know, just wait a little bit, and then that's probably the time. So if you convert, you get the AP one, you know, with your conversion from Debos to Kharazad. So I never had to buy any of them. I just kind of got them. But for everyone else, it's the important ones are probably accuracy, DR, and evasion. I still, to this day, have not seen a real use for Black Spirit Rage. Obviously, they're good, but I don't think the trade-off is really worth it in most situations. Like, the people who have it are literally doing siege wars, and then basically you get yourself to 200 and do like a big play, but that's not even regular. So most important being the AP, second being probably 1 or 2 accuracy ones, and then DR and evasion for like the meme builds. So there's that. Harmonies are, you know, they are still roughly the same price. Let's look at the species damage ones. Yeah, they're roughly about 20 million each. It's been like that for a while. So until Lifeskill and craft cost goes down, these are probably going to be the same price. Chip license. You know what's funny to me? The fact that Valors are still higher than all of them. I personally only have one of them. I have the Valor, and I don't regret it. Even though they killed boat PvPing, it is what it is. I don't regret it. I like doing more damage with my cannons and everything. So in case you have never done sailing, what are the difference between these boats? Valor makes your dailies or sailing dailies a lot faster because your cannons do more damage. Volante is the speedboat. It goes from point A to point B faster, and in theory it's like 10% faster, but like with boat gear difference and everything and your sailor difference, it's not exactly the same. So Volante will always be faster, Valor will always do more damage. Advanced if you are a barterer, so, and it has more weight. So if you only do bartering, Advanced is probably the one for you because it just carries a lot more. You could do that extra turn in or two with the Advanced that you can't do with the other ones. And Balance is just kind of the boat you get because you like collecting the boats, and this is your 4th one. It doesn't really do anything well, it just is there. So whichever one you pick, as long as you don't choose to Balance first, I think you're fine. And at the end of the day, sailing content still needs to be buffed because they have been working on sailing content for many years now, but the hard truth is until they expand the ocean like down to here or something to the point where there's actually more things to do, sailing is just one of those things that eventually just kind of gets old. Also, you know, the Marietta, the Siren boss, they really just need to put that in a set location. There are spawn points for it. And then the hardest thing is you just have to know those spawn points, and you have to have some RNG of finding out where it is, but you have to play with the game sound on, and you'll hear, like, you know, the siren call, the music, and then it takes you there. To be honest, it's kind of tedious. The rewards are not really that good. It's one of those things you can do to say you've done it once, but aside from that, it's, you know, not great. So they really just need to add it, like, you know, Khan and Vel, just put it in a set location, have it spawn somewhere, you know, even put it out in the ocean in the next update, have this part of the map completely discovered, add some stuff to it, you know, even, you know, just add something down here or here, multiple spawns, and then I think it'd be good. But aside from that, sailing needs some work, but they've been, you know, adding, you know, the fishing update. So let me see, does my character have it? This is my sailing character. They added a fishing thing where you put a worker or like one of those like sailing workers onto your boats to auto fishes for you. That has got to be one of the worst things they've ever done. It is not worth your time. So it's like, yeah, they're trying to add cool things, which I like the idea, but that is just so bad. It's not worth it. But yeah, aside from that, what else has been notable? We're all kind of hoping that at the Calpheon Ball, they'll allow people to start cronstoning these. That's something that I feel like Pearl Abyss forgot existed, the alchemy stones. Even on PC, it's still kind of hard to get to Vel's Heart. Like, I don't know. It's still not easy. So what I think they should do is allow people to cronstone their alchemy stones, and then that would literally solve the problem. More people can get splendid, and then they would actually sell. So yeah, 33 trades in 10 years. That's how you know that it's so not only hard to get, it's like most people do not have it. So yeah, that's one thing I'm hoping for at the Calpheon Ball. An alchemy stone rework, or at least, you know, something that goes beyond Vel's Heart that is actually obtainable for a majority of players. So that's one of the many things that I want. And of course there's like crystals and everything, but right now I still think that for most people, getting these Orzekia Void Crystals is not an easy thing, because Orzekia is kind of difficult, even for endgame players. The amount of incoming damage that you take is actually really high, so that'll be easier over time as they add more content. But right now, yeah, these crystals are, if you are not 350 or like 730 plus gear score, this is not or like not 730, like 790 or something. Like even with this gear, it's not hard. It's just it's not a chill grind spot is what I'm trying to say. So yeah. Aside from that, that's basically the stuff I wanted to talk about this month. A lot of notable changes on the life skill side, and, you know, just quality of life, you know, various other things that aren't main gear, like these blessing things. These are new, so hopefully they are, you know, I hope they drop in price and then people will actually use them. Otherwise, you know, the traditional way of furniture in your house and just using these is still the way to go. With that said, that's all for June. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace.